What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Soup's UFC Preview. On this episode, we're going to be going over UFC 303 live this weekend at T-Mobile Arena. We have Alex Pereira going against Jiri Prochazka for the light heavyweight championship, Diego Lopes versus Brian Ortega, and we also have Michael Venom Page versus Ian Garry. A couple really good fights, a couple sleeper fighters I'm going to tell you guys about too. First, we're going to get into the main event. All right, guys, so for the main event, we have Alex Pereira defending his light heavyweight belt against Jiri Prochazka. This is a rematch. Alex did get the better of Jiri in the first fight via second round TKO, but I see this fight going very differently, boys. Jiri is coming off of a huge win against Alexander Rakic. Alex is coming off of a huge win against Jamal Hill, both at UFC 300. I see Jiri utilizing the ground game a lot in this fight, guys. I got Jiri by submission, round 4. Lock it in. All right, guys, then for the co-main event, I believe it is going to be Diego Lopes versus Brian Ortega. It could also be Michael Venom Page versus Ian Garry, but we're not too sure yet. We're going to go over that fight as well. Diego Lopes coming off of a huge victory against Sadiq Youssef. Brian Ortega coming off of a huge victory against Yair Rodriguez. I think the big difference in this fight is going to be activity. Brian Ortega has had one fight in the last 3 years, I believe. His previous fight before Yair was when he was injured against Yair. So he was out for a while in 2022, fought in 2024. And then this will be his second fight. So as opposed to Diego Lopes, who is one of the most active fighters in the UFC, he's always game, always ready to go. Guys, I got Diego Lopes via TKO, round 2. Lock it in. All right, guys, that brings us along to Michael Venom Page versus Ian Garry. Ian Garry has been somebody that's been in the MMA media for a lot of the wrong reasons lately, but at the end of the day, that kid is an absolute stud, and he can fight. He's going against Michael Venom Page. A lot of people know him from his days in Bellator. He did have his debut against Kevin Holland and showed some really impressive stuff. A lot of people thought that fight was a disappointment, but I went back and rewatched it. MVP looks so clean, man. His striking is incredible, and to do that to Kevin Holland is a statement in itself. So, guys, I see this fight being a war, and I have Michael Venom Page via decision. Guys, another sleeper, Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith is having his 4,600th UFC fight, and Roman Dolidze is somebody that usually fights at 185, coming up to 205. I think that this fight is going to be a fun one. I have Anthony Smith via submission, round 3. Alrighty, guys, time for my favorite segment of the night. It is my sleeper fighter of the night. This is a fighter I think not a lot of people are paying attention to, but I know some of the diehards are going to call me out on this and say a lot of people do appreciate this kid. We're looking here at Mr. Peyton Talbot, 8-0 in the UFC. 3-0 in the UFC, 8-0 is a professional record. And he is going to be going against Yanis Jamori. Yanis Jamori is 12-2. I think this is going to be a really fun fight, but I have Peyton running through this kid. I think Peyton's got some of the best all-around skills in the UFC, and I see him doing some special things. So Peyton Talbot via TKO, round 1. Alrighty, guys, and there you have it. UFC 303 International Fight Week. It's going down this Saturday night, June 29th, live at the T-Mobile Arena, 10 p.m. Eastern Time for the main card, 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the prelims, 6 p.m. Eastern Time for the early prelims. I will see you there, boys. Spam those comments. Let me know what you guys think is going to go down, and make sure to circle back to this and let me know that I got all my predictions right.